we are going to walk through some of the basics of Readworks. This will help you get your class set up, assign a task, and kind of see what a student will see. Don't worry, we will have more PD and practice around this, and if you ever need anything, you can definitely reach out. So here I am on my Readworks homepage. This is both the teacher and the student login page. Teachers, you're going to log in up here. I am already logged in. Once you have an account created, the first thing you're going to do is create a class. You do this by going to Class Admin, Create a Class. I already have 2 classes, which I will be using for this. In order to invite students to your class, there's actually a tab that will tell you exactly what to do. First, you have them log in to readworks.org/student. Then you have them click the log in with their Google account. Each class has a unique code. This one is P62K72. So once a student logs in under Google, puts that classroom in, they have access to all of the assignments and a personal library. There's also a way to do it on Google Classrooms, but we're going to stick here because I don't want you to have to make and change Google Classrooms that often. Once you have your students in your class, you then have to find content. You go to that by clicking on this beautiful Find Content page. So say I am teaching students who have a Lexile score, that STAR score, in the 3rd grade range. I click there. I did some searching beforehand, so I want to read about this one with a noisy cat because you know me, I love cats, if I can find it. Awkward. Perfect, the noisiest cat, there it is. So you have a search bar, so you don't have to use that one. So I'm gonna click on it, and I see there's vocabulary that I can assign in patient and perch. Students may definitely struggle, especially with perch. And there's a question set which you can assign for students if they finish early, but this isn't what we're gonna be focusing on. We're gonna be focusing more on the thinking job we assign. When I find a text I like, so I'm like, yeah, we could read about this, I'm going to click the Assign button. I'm also going to assign vocabulary, even if we go over it together as a class. That's usually part of a guided reading launch, so it's good to have. Comprehension questions I'll have as like a challenge afterwards, but I want to make sure it's clear during my directions that that's not what we're going to do. You also have the option to assign audio. I'm not going to because in guided reading, we should be working on our independent reading level, so the audio isn't necessary. But you can assign audio to specific students if that is something you think would be beneficial for them. You also then, whole class specific, I'm going to assign it to the whole class, and I'm going to give us 2 days to do it because we ideally should be finishing it in 1, but just 1 day is cleanup, then hit assign. Great, so that's what I have to do on my end to assign something. Just to let you know, that's not going to be all you have to do. You also have to read it and plan your what, how, why, and things, and later on we'll get into conferencing. So now I'm going to log out so you can see what this would look like from a student perspective. I'm going to log in with my student. I already have an account, so I'm not going to log in with my Google code. Once I'm here, I'm going to click on the class. I could be rostered in multiple classes, so I'm going to make sure I click on that one. And you'll see I have my assignments. So right now, the only thing I have due is the noisiest cat. This will also show submitted assignments and my big book of knowledge, which we're not doing, but organizes it by month. We also have access to a library, which we will get into. If you have a student who's consistently finishing early and doing well, this is something you could do, and you could also just tell students you have access to this all the time. They can favorite things, put things in, and they also have different formats. So if your student wants to read a book that looks like a book, some of these have that ability. We're going to focus on our assignments now. So before you go over this, you kind of want to go over the vocabulary, which we could do as a class. Again, we'll go over this more in the launch. And you want to go over your what, how, why. How, whys are a big deal. Don't worry, we're gonna have PD around this and it will be covered in this. So as you're reading Noisiest Cat today, your what is problem and conflict. I can recognize the struggle or problem between the characters. The how is gonna be problem equals. They're gonna annotate for that right in their text. Why? Strong readers know the central conflict because it helps us understand the story and characters. And then I just have questions to ask if you're kind of stuck, which hopefully we won't be because we're all expert readers. Now, back in here, as a student, I would start reading. Melissa had, and again, they would be muted and ideally reading silently, and you could have breakout rooms so that you could listen to them read. Melissa had a cat that loved her too much. The cat was named Roger. He was an older cat, about 10 years old, Melissa guessed. She knew because her parents told her they got Roger not long after Melissa was born. When she was little, Roger was little too. They would run and play and fall down together. Now she was bigger. Roger was big too, very big. Possibly, she thought proudly, he was the fattest cat in town. But more importantly, he was the sweetest. Okay, I don't see a problem with a big old fat cat. When Melissa watched TV, Roger sat on her lap. When she did her homework, he sat on the paper. When she ate, he ate too. Everywhere Melissa went, Roger followed. Okay, so this could be a problem. Maybe I'll just say like he's kind of clingy. So I will highlight by just left clicking. I'm going to highlight in purple and I'm going to add a comment. It's going to come up on the side. And as a teacher, you'll be able to see these in the teacher side. I could say problem equals. And we don't want full sentences because, I mean, we want kids to be spending more time reading than writing. So problem is cat is clingy. That's not how you spell clingy. Good thing for autocorrect. And done. Most of the time, the cat loves you so much, Melissa's mother would say, he doesn't know what to do without you, etc., etc. You would usually tell the student how many problems they have. So that's the gist of how to assign and how a student's going to annotate. I hope that was helpful. Good luck.